Random stream, random stream. Random stream. Do the what game so people can read what the stream is all about. It's fishing! Hey everybody. It's my day off. Did some video editing. Did a bunch of cleaning, reorganizing in the basement. Kind of a little done with that now. Essentially just went out to run some errands. Feeling a bit lonely. I thought I'd do a little random stream so you guys could keep me company. I'm going to play some Fishing Planet. You don't like Fishing Planet? That's fine. There's going to be Baldur's Gate tomorrow. You can come back tomorrow for Baldur's Gate. It's going to be fine. Today I'm doing fishing because that's what I want to do. Playing Starfield. I would be playing Starfield if I did the pre-order, but I'm just waiting for the Xbox Game Pass version, which is already preloaded, but we'll see. Anyway, there's a probably better. Just relax a little this afternoon. Is going to do. I might even, in a little bit, have an adult beverage to go along with the fact that this is a day off of playing. We'll see. Anyway, I really like Fishing Planet. I like fishing games. I've talked before on things. Turns out about 30 years ago, I played a fishing game called Bass Duel on a DOS computer, and I kind of fell in love with the genre. I mean, at the time, I was a kid, and I did fishing actually. I enjoyed it quite a lot. I haven't gone fishing since I was 15. For lots of different reasons, but I still enjoy the games because a really well done one is very crunchy. It's got a lot of strategy going on with it, a lot of mechanics, which this one has. I think like 4 or 5 years ago, I actually did a sponsored video for this, or it may have been for the. There's another game called The Fisherman - Fishing Planet. That one is the non free to play version. Fishing Planet is free to play, so it does like prompt you fairly regularly, like, oh, why don't you buy this pack and spend some extra money? But you don't have to spend any money. Or if you prefer to have everything unlocked, you can do the Fisherman. The Fisherman hasn't gotten like a constant series of updates like Fishing Planet continuously does. So, in my mind, the Fishing Planet's the better one. And the sort of free to play unlock content model actually really works well for me as kind of a motivator to kind of keep doing stuff. Anyway, today we're gonna go to Rocky Lake, which I've never been. In this game. I have caught none of the fish species, or if I've been before, maybe, for all I know, I have been before way earlier, because this account's fairly old at this point. I'm not that high level, just level 18. But maybe they weren't tracking which fish species you'd caught when I had been there before. That's possible. But I suspect the answer is I haven't been there. I have got a bunch of quests or missions in my mission log here for catching various fish here. So I thought, well, that'll be fun, and it'll be it'll kind of, be neat to try to figure some stuff out. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. You don't have to be here. It's okay. I won't mind. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to go ahead and track this mission right now, the Rocky Careful Angler, because this mission here has to specifically be done with special equipment. So by tracking it, it'll make it... Hey! No one! Oh, it's right. It's going to...
Quill's busy day job, playing video games about conquering the world. What Quill does on his time off? Play video games about fishing. Sounds right, AYUP.
AYUP, I guess, yup. Yeah, because the others are just like, basically it's to catch all the fish. Oh, this is still a barbless spoon or spinner, and then catch and release. Okay, so there's a whole vibe with the catch and release thing. So we'll be using some barbless stuff. So I have to make sure we've got a rod properly set up. I don't know if I've got any barbless spoons yet because I haven't done anything like this yet. So most likely I'll be picking one up. Before I do that, let's figure out. So at Rocky Lake, I'm not sure how big the fish can get over here. So if we just look at like the top of the charts. Okay, so the biggest fish are just 2 kilograms, or about 4.5-ish pounds. So that's good. So we're not going to need a really intense fishing rod setup or anything like that to fish here, which is good. It is prompting me by a spinning rod. I think this is a spinning rod, the Featherlight. Still it's specifically prompting me to buy the Elemental 200. Really? Unless this isn't a spinning rod. I think it is, though. Because that's a casting rod. That's a feeder rod. I got a float rod over here. I'm pretty sure that's a spinning rod. I mean, I've got a spinning thing on there. But you know what? I'm going to let it guide me. Because why not? Just to make sure we've got the right stuff. And presumably it's gonna, encourage us to go and do that. Let's just buy one of these reels. It might be that the mission is specifically set up to only allow a range of stuff, and that's entirely possible as well. Let's make sure we buy a reel that's got enough drag for the, again, max weight we're looking at is about 2 kilograms. So we want to target, 2 kilograms is kind of a minimum. So this one here is a little bit small. This one's exactly 2 kg. This one's a little over recovery. Well, there's a lot of recovery on this one, 2.3. Yeah, I'm going to get the Aspira Slim 1000. And it's prompting again to do a braided line. I'm going to go through the process of buying the products, but we may just be able to equip whatever we want. Now, the barbless spoon, I'm sure we want to buy one. It's pushing me to try to buy one of the bait coin ones. So that's their cash money currency as opposed to the dollars you earn in game. I mean, 3 is nothing because I've got a bunch stored up. I'm a little bit annoyed on principle at the point in that way. Although it could be that's the only one that at my level I can actually get. That'll be the proper size. Yeah, okay, we'll grab this purple barbless narrows. The colors do matter, depending on the weather and how deep you're fishing and various things like that. Usually a little bit brighter is better than the dark ones, but it does depend a little bit. So I'm going to deconstruct one of my rods here. I think this one here, my casting rod. I'm going to deconstruct it. And so we're going to go with the build that they're recommending here. Free up some room in my setup. I've got some fairly decent gear here to carry some equipment. I do have a ridiculously big fishing net. I think when I did the sponsored gig, I think it included a code for one of their their DLC packs or something, which I think gave me access to a really good fishing net, which is right. So yeah, we may end up switching some of these things, but we'll go with the setup that they're specifically leading us towards. That's going to be good. All right, so we got ourselves our spinning rod set up here for this particular mini quest. Other than that, I think all my other equipment is going to be in a good situation. If we end up having to go back and forth out of the lake to reset our gear, that's not the end of the world, because we're going to be able to catch most things. There might be something that it turns out we didn't bring exactly the right kit for something. But that's okay. We'll make sure to pick up let's go for a 3-day advanced fishing license, and yeah, travel out to Rocky Lake. I'm not going to be able to use my kayak there, but that's okay. Fishing for a storm strumming. Dun, 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 dun. What if there was a mini game, fishing game inside BJ3? That would be great. That would be fantastic. All right. One thing I like about the mission system is that a lot of times they do double as a bit of a tutorial. So I think this is the tutorial effectively for teaching you how to use barbless hooks of various types, which I suspect the barbless are more likely to cause you to lose the fish while you're trying to reel it in. But the benefit of using a barbless hook is you do get more XP. The whole thing is not hurting the fishies. Obviously, these are digital fishies, so maybe it doesn't matter so much. But what they do is they do give you bonus XP if you're using a barbless hook. And I believe there may be certain limitations about what you can, once you catch something, if you can release it or not, might depend on whether you used a barbed hook or not. So, barely challenge number 1 is just show up at Rocky Lake. Excellent, lovely. And then, yeah, so they try to encourage you to buy these various packs from time to time. Yeah, it is online by default, so we got some other people in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just load in a private room instead. There we go. It's a cute little spot. Nice mountains. High air of Colorado. Some parts of Colorado are a little higher than others, if you catch my drift here. Hang on, I'm just going to move my camera out of that. Labor Day fishing expedition. That's right! It's Labor Day weekend. Lovely. All right, catch a fish using the stop and go method. That's good. I like the stop and go method. So let's see what we can do. We're going to follow, these prompts until they end, at which point we'll just start doing something else. So yeah, we're going to cast off over there. Trout are easy to track to stop and go as well as bass. Yeah, the stop and go is my preferred reel-in method. Now, I guess I don't remember the specs on this, so I don't know exactly how much drag I should be setting up on my reel, but I think we can probably go to 1 off of max, but we'll see. So let's just do a little stop and go. So reel, stop. There you go. See, in theory, the more dots that you get, on your reeling technique, theoretically, the better it is. Oh, there we go. But some people say it doesn't matter. As long as the technique is active, the actual amount of dots may not matter too much. Whoa! We just yoinked that fish out of the water. It's not a very big one. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that pizza will go great. Thank you. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I eat lunch today? No, I didn't. I had breakfast. I had my shreddies at like 9. I had some chips around noon, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten lunch yet. Thank you, Sydney, or Signet, as I like to call you, for the pizza. Perfect. All right, we got ourselves a young cutthroat trout. I may want to tweak some of the volumes and stuff too. And now we're to release the fish. That's one of the reasons we're going barbless here, because we're pretending we're not being as bad, I guess. Okay, catch 10 fish using barbless tackles. Complete the first stage barbless master challenge. Okay. Well, I'll probably keep doing that for now. And in theory, what's going to happen is we're going to get a little bit of progress on these other 2 runs as well. So we've already caught and released a cutthroat trout. If we can get a Colorado golden trout and a rainbow trout, that'll complete Rocky Trail. And then for Rocky Exploration here, these are... the bass and the crappie might go for this lure. The shiners and bluegills, I think, are mostly attracted to bait. I can't remember what a white sucker. In fact, I've made never fished for a white sucker, so we'll see. And let's check the time scale over here. Okay, depending on the weather and the temperature, and especially how sunny it is, fish are going to be more active at different parts of the day, usually in the morning and evening. We'll fish for another in-game hour or 2, which those go pretty fast. And then I'll go ahead and fast forward to the evening. But yeah, let's go and fish in this rocky area some more. One of the things we can do, especially if we take a look at this, right? The golden trout, if we want to catch this. Subspecies of rainbow trout, endemic to cold mountain lakes, which sounds right for where we are. Diet of the trout consists mainly of water-dwelling insects, larvae, small crustaceans, freshwater shrimp. So you can bait fish for them a lot, which is interesting. But they do clearly go for the spoons, which we'll be looking for over here. You want to check sometimes there'll be more hints about, nighttime feeding, this or that, whether they're bottom feeders or not. The predator fish, you tend to do pretty well with these lures here, but a lot of times you're going to want to go with some of the other fish are just looking for, insects, or they really go for like dough balls or something like that. You just bait fish, just dangling some stuff on a floater or set up a bottom feed or something like that. But here I'm doing, oh, there we go. New stream, what this? Signy is a great Danish shibboleth. Also, Rudovre. A shibboleth. Oh, okay. So we're hitting our drag limit here. It might be quiet. I don't know how much. I think I'm going to have to adjust the sound. But you might be able to hear a little tick, 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 tick. Here's my line is being pulled out. But I'm not at my full line tension, so I can tighten up the drag a little bit more. And a little bit more. And we can actually do it with math. Okay, I think we're just about our limit. We'll double check something here in a sec. Oh, young rainbow trout. So shiny. Anyway, we'll just keep releasing for now. You want to keep the fish generally because you get money for it. It's how you progress and you advance things and do whatever. There's tournaments and stuff that go on here too. Let me double check this setup. So our line test is 1.8 kg. This, again, is the line that they set us up for. I could potentially change out of this, but we are clearly in more of a tutorial-y sort of quest here. So I'm gonna keep following it exactly until we're done that one, because some of them are a little bit finicky. So yeah, 1.8 kg test on this line. So more pull than that, it will break the line. Our reel here has a max drag of 2.3 kg. So if we do, what was it, 1.8? Yeah, 1.8 divided by 2.3 is 78%. So we're at 75% on our drag. At the bottom right corner, I don't know if there's a way to like unlock the mouse cursor here for me to point at things, but over in the bottom right corner there, by minus and plus, you see the circle? This is the drag setting on the reel. So right now we're at 75% of the reel's max drag, and we know that the line can support up to 78%. So we should be just at the limit of how much we can drag with the line before the reel starts to give way and give slack, which is kind of good. Oh, I didn't use the cast planner there. Okay. No math. I thought it was casual fishing stream. Yeah, but that's what I like about the strategy game in this. That's part of it. And the rod you use, I mean, it also has a max test. Like they could like snap on too heavy of a fish, but also it has a preferred weight for the lure. Where if that weight is too low or too high, you're not really going to be able to get the cast action going properly. Now, in reality, you know, the rods are a little bit more one size fits all. But for this game here, just to kind of keep the gameplay a little bit more interesting, the rods and reels and things are quite a bit more specific for their range. There's clearly a lot of active fish over there. So we're going to keep casting right between those rocks. Rocky areas, weedy areas, they tend to be good spots for fish. How's toe faring? It's pretty good. Like, it's, it definitely still has some soreness and things like that in the joint. It still looks like hell. A lot of it is because actually there's a lot of skin peeling on it for some reason. Probably because it had been bandaged for a while, so I don't think things were being sort of, I don't know, attritioned off very quickly. I'm just going to keep going with this for now because we are having fantastic luck in this little section. There's still some fish activity going there, so we're going to keep going there. Obviously, you know, you get your fish a little faster in here than in real life, but at the same time, the clock is ticking away a little faster too. Let's use Celsius and Faerun, exactly. Now, you can play this game in imperial or metric measurement systems. I think it actually defaults to imperial. And the thing is, with, like, right now, and actually, there's lots of places you can fish all over the world in this game. Right now, we are, of course, in Merca, because we're in Colorado. And part of me is, like, especially with some of, like, more kind of down-to-earth kind of games like this, especially with things like fishing, I'd be like, I would feel like it would be more authentic with an imperial system. It's like when we play our railroad tycoon-y kind of games, right? Set in like the late 1800s. It's like, no, it should be in like miles and things like that in my head because it like seems period appropriate or location appropriate. But the big reason I do use this in metric is because a bunch of the lures and stuff like that and the limits on the rods will be in ounces, but they'll be listed as like quarter ounce or whatever. So like there'll be a rod, for example, where it's like, okay, so the minimum lure weight for proper cast action on this rod is 1/4 of an ounce. And then I'm looking at a lure that's like 1/3 of an ounce and another one that's 1/6 of an ounce. Yes, you can see we're right on our line limit here. Although again, I think the physics glitched out again. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, I'm gonna accept the physics glitch because it sort of is proving to be maybe helpful. That's crazy. The line actually had like a 45-degree kink in there for a second. I don't know what was causing that. Maybe it bumped up against a rock and the physics just went nuts. But yeah, so like I'll look at like, yeah, a 1/4 ounce lure and a 1/6 ounce lure, or sorry, a 1/3 ounce lure and a 1/6 ounce lure and be like, is that more or less than 1/4? Which one is lighter? Which one is heavier? Because with fractions, it's like the numbers are inverted, right? A 1/6 is smaller. So then it was like, no, I'm gonna switch to metric. So this is a 7-gram barbless narrow spoon. I've actually only experienced a fishing glitch like this once before on the starter lake with a bottom
Hey,
setup.
Quill, pay attention. There's a new subscriber.
The graphics for the sinker would stay like adjacent to where I am, and then draw this like straight line out somewhere. It was very bizarre. Everything still worked fine, but it looked weird. Brotherhood of Nude. Brotherhood of Nude. Thank you very much for the sub. Fractions speak louder than words. Boo. All right, we're approaching 6 a.m. in game here, and we weren't in like a high period of fish activity to start off with, and it is currently decreasing. So we're gonna do a fast forward into the evening in a sec here. But yeah, the quest set us up to just fish here. So we're gonna keep going through that, finish that part off. Yeah, we're right on the limit. We only have about 3% space on this rope here. You know, we're still getting some more glitches. I think what's happening. Oh, wow, look at the line. I think what's happening, because the fish, it does simulate them like swimming and doing all kinds of things. They actually are moving fish in the lake, and so they have to actually they have their preferred area that they stay in, and they have to get within certain radius of your hook to start noticing it and different things like that. I think what's probably okay, this is a big one. They're probably like clipping through the rocks and having a physics problem. There was just a big update yesterday that apparently it may have broken a couple of things. Okay, I don't know what we've got on here, but it is quite the fighter. I'm gonna let it build some slack. There we go. Pull it in. Pull, 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 pull. Especially barbless here. I'm really worried about losing the tension on the line and having the fish go away. Well, the other thing you can do is if I do this to put more tension on the rod itself, it can sometimes alleviate a little bit of the tension on the line or bounce it out a bit more. So we might be able to get a tiny bit more. Woo, baby. What we're going to do, because remember, remember, I don't know if you were here, like, literally at the second I started the stream, randomly. We know that the heaviest fish in this lake come in at about 2 kilos. And the line that we've been set up for this particular quest here has the max test of 1.8 kg. So, for the big fish, the trophy fish, the uniques and things like that in here, we were really going to be at our limit, and I'm actually not 100% sure we're going to be able to pull this one in. This sort of thing is a lot easier if you've got a boat, especially like a little light kayak that you haven't anchored, because you can actually just let the fish drag you around. And so even if it's swimming away from you, you can still sort of be reeling in and getting closer and closer. All right, 20 meters away. They do get tired. There you go. Sometimes I like to give it the line a pull up when the fish does breach the water, because presumably when it's in the air, it's not going to be able to swim away the same way. So I'm like, I want to see, ooh, I can actually see it there just under the surface. But this is why I don't like fishing in real life anymore. It feels mean to the fish, but in video games seems great. 1 kg rainbow trout. Didn't even say it was a new record. Possible I've caught bigger rainbow trout somewhere else. But we're still on the release mini mission over here. Well, it just says completed. Hold on, maybe I don't have to release for this one. I guess it was the other one that I had to release for. I'll tell you what, okay, keep this one. Pay attention to the water surface, active fish express themselves splashing. Okay. Yep. So yeah, I guess for the careful angler, I just have to catch them. I don't actually have to release them. For the rocky trial, I do, but I've done it all other than a Colorado golden trout. So if we catch a golden trout, I'll have to release it. Otherwise, I can hold on to it. Okay, let's, you know what? We're still... Since the fish be jumping, let's not fast forward right now, because it's still being quite successful. 16xb, nice. Now, one of the things you can do is there's nothing stopping you, especially once you get higher level and you've locked a bunch of stuff and you have the money. There's nothing stopping you from, like, equipping a setup that can, like, pull in, like, 100 kg fish. But what happens is the amount of XP you get gets severely nerfed. So to maximize your XP, you want a setup that's just barely enough for the fish you're catching. Which makes sense, because how else are you going to learn? Let me try to cast right in here. Hey, Giles, thanks for the resub. And Slate Gray as well. Cheers. Yes, the bars on the right-hand side... Oh, I might have just snagged something rather than an actual bite. The bar on the right-hand side is the tension. Now, by default, the game sets you up with this simplified view. 1 bar. Tries to add it together. But I really like the splitting it up into 3. Should I put the volume up a little bit? I feel like I should. I feel like it's... I normally play with it fairly quiet. I'm usually, you know, watching YouTube and things like that, but... one more cast, and then we advance to the evening. You noodle fish with your thumb in this game. I have no idea what that means. As far as I know, this game is also available on like all the consoles as well. And I could see a controller being kind of a fun user interface for this, but I'm, of course, still mouse and keyboard. Noodling for catfish. You do it with your hands and feet. Wait, seriously? What, are they try to go for your toes? And you just scoop them out? Oh! There you go. Yeah, we're going to want to move to another place just because the physics is going crazy here still. Rainbow trout. So we'll keep you. Trout's very gentle fish. Use barbless tackle to avoid its injuries. Well, there you are. So yeah, let's advance. There you go. 5 p.m. And set the spot. It's still encouraging me to go here. But I gotta assume you can catch it. All right, fine. You know what? We're gonna keep fishing in this area, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast on the outside of these stones here. Oh, I don't know why that didn't go at all. There we are. Baldur's Gate's patch really looks different. I gotta say, though, the graphics are pretty good. Nothing wrong with the graphics. So I've been doing I started another Baldur's Gate 3 run because I'm still not letting myself play past where we are for the live stream campaign. And I keep, I bumped into that limit. So I started another run. I am playing a paladin, a very, upbeat, friendly, kind, just, I think, human female paladin, based on a D&D character that I've had for years called Abigail the Golden Haired. But I gave her the Dark Urge origin. But she's actively trying to fight it. The Dark Urge origin, for those of you who don't know, is something you can pick at the start of the game for your character. When you're creating your character, there's, origins. You can play as Will, you can play as Shadowheart, you can play as these people. Dark Urge isn't one of the characters, well, as far as I know, at least at this point, it isn't one of the companions to pick up. And it's a little different because you get to customize everything. You still get to customize their species, their class, their look. You're still making a complete custom character, but with a special twist that there's something wrong with you. You don't remember your past, but there's this voice in your head that keeps just wanting you to kill. And so, originally I thought with that, and I had rolled a character a while ago to do the Dark Urge. I was like, this is gonna be my evil run or anything like that. But I actually started another run that's more of an evil run without being Dark Urge, which I found more interesting. And so what I like about this run is I caught a turtle! Oh! What I like about this one is that I'm actively trying to avoid being evil. Abigail is trying to resist the Dark Urge at every possible turn. And it's turning into be a really fun game. To have this noble paladin who is trying to do good, trying to do right, but she's got this constant voice in the back of her head. Plus, a brainworm. But this constant voice that's trying to get her to kill. Okay. So clearly wherever I'm casting is picking up more debris. So let's pop back over here. Maybe I'll take a little bit more of a high ground, see if that avoids the physics glitches. So I don't want to see too much else, because if people... Oop, okay, I got a little snag. Which might mean there's something on the hook. I cast a little far. I don't want to see too much, so that, things aren't spoiled for people. But... my character did end up having one moment, one uncontrolled kill to this point. And it's something that you really actually don't have a choice about. So she is properly horrified. There's a certain person who can join your camp that is exclusive to the Dark Urge backstory. I'm just trying to hint so that people who have played it know what I'm talking about. This person who arrives, and it's not that far in, still Act 1, quite early on. And yeah, is It's pretty terrible. High ground gives us bonus to hit. There you go. Oh, yeah, it happened again. So the fish, I think just happened, was sort of behind the rock. I think the line might have got snagged on that rock. And that's where the physics weirdness is coming in. As soon as this challenge is over, I'm definitely going to change the line that we're on. Probably to one of the fluorocarbon lines, first of all, which are nicely invisible in the water. Some fish are especially sensitive to... They're very sus all the time, or they're very suspicious. It's not that the fish are sus, it's that they treat the things they see in the water as suspicious. And so the fluorocarbon lines have like the same refraction index as the as water, or very nearly, so they're effectively invisible underwater, as opposed to this braided line here. The advantage of the braided lines is that they're very cheap to make very strong lines, which is why they're still in the game. Okay, heck of a fighter. Last one was what, one and change KDG. I think it was 1-0 something. I don't feel like this one's quite as intense of a fighter as the last one, but could be a different type of fish too. Bass are notoriously big fighters. Oh, no, don't get it slack. Catching some cutthroat trout. We did! Yeah, so the cutthroat trout are chaotic evil. And they tend to at least dip for a level or two into rogue, so that they can get some sneak attack damage, those cutthroat trout. As opposed to the golden trout, which are obviously paladins. Oh, trophy cutthroat! Hey! Oh, I'm definitely keeping that bad boy. Look at that. Hang on. I mean, we gotta do the pose, right? There we go. No, it's the golden one we're trying to, we need to do the release still, I think. I might be wrong. Yeah, we need to catch and release a Colorado golden trout. Now, actually, the barbless lure, we haven't lost anyone yet. So maybe the barbless lures we're gonna continue going with here. Yeah, we got a lot of XP for that. We're gonna hit level 19, probably not too far away. I'm pretty good at the stop and go. Part of it, the reeling techniques are very, very dependent on the weight of the lure, the weight of the line, and the gear ratio of the reel you're using. I'm usually pretty good at getting a good stop and go. One thing I've never really been able to pull off is the lift and drop, which I don't think this is the right lure to be doing a lift and drop with anyway. But I know that it's considered to be very successful, very powerful, but can't do it. Let's play using the controller. Yeah, I think I have played with the controller a little bit. I think mostly because I think it was one time when I was trying to like watch some YouTube and stuff at the same time while doing probably just float fishing. And what's nice about the controller is you get vibration, you get force feedback from when a fish is on your line. And so it was easier for me to not miss the fact that I'd caught a fish. Now, you do have an in-game thing where you can have it do an audio sound when your float is being... Oop. Again, we just yanked this fish completely out of the water. I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's fine. Because I do have a ridiculously large fish cabin, I can basically just keep all the fish I catch. We don't really have to be picky. I'm going to finish this, 2 more fish. And then I think just to mix things up, we'll switch over to some bait fishing, and look for some non-trout. Although I think you can catch the trout with bait fishing, but I think generally you're going to be more successful with the lures. Maybe I'm wrong. If you are playing multiplayer, right? And I just went into a private room here, but normally I think the rooms are limited to 5 people, something like that. And usually the game just throws you into a random room. But you can play with friends as well. It's always fun to not quite reel in your fish, just leave it sort of dangling and then put it in front of their face. It's not annoying at all. Did I lose? No, never mind. Or the scorpion method of fishing? Scorpion for Mortal Kombat? You just spear things. Get over here. Or you're saying that's what I'm doing because I'm yoinking them over. Yeah. Still see some fish action here. Maybe a little further. I might change my angle and try to cast out by the rocky wall over there. What I like about this area is it does, I mean, mountain aside in the background, it does actually look quite a lot like home. Oh, come on. You're almost here. Why can't I yoink you out of the water? Oh, get in here. Right. Way off back there. I was seeing some jumpy. On Grand Starfield Day, nice to see something other. Oh, we're running an ad right now. I'm still wondering about experimenting. So again, Twitch at these days really, you need to be running three minutes of ads every hour on Twitch, or things are just dumb and sucky and whatever. And early on in the Baldur's Gate 3 run, I was trying to just run one 30-second ad, like X minutes apart or whatever that works out to. Yeah, so every 10 minutes apart, so 6 times an hour. Some people responded like less good because it was like, well, that's like frequent ads and it's very distracting. So now I switched it over to it does a minute and a half every 30 minutes. But I've seen some people do 3 minutes in one go, once an hour, and then time that with breaks. And I might do that. I might switch to doing that. It'll be that. Originally, the reason I did it with short is because, well, like 30 seconds, you're not going to miss much. Whereas obviously, if it's a minute or a minute and a half or 3 minutes, that's a lot of time that you could be missing. But if I properly time it with an actual break of content, maybe that's the better way to balance it out. The problem is I also have to notice that it's coming. So I know it'd be like, okay, hold on, I gotta stop and not do anything interesting for 3 minutes here. Woo! Jumping fish! Yeah, okay. It's definitely the rock that the rope is getting caught up on. And then the physics get a little glitchy. Sometimes forget it's worth there's ads worth from traveling. And that's the thing, obviously, if you're subscribed, there's no ads. Which is an option. You can make it so that everyone sees ads, which I'm like, okay, come on. So this should be the last one on this sort of apparently slightly more strict tutorial quest. And then, yeah, we'll just switch. At the very least, we'll be switching the line on this particular setup. But we'll also go and do some bait fishing. Catch some different species. Quill, one of the best dollar per entertainment value in my life already. And it does make a huge, tremendous difference, especially on Twitch. Like, the vast majority of stuff on my end comes from the subscriptions. Like, it's not even close. And so, yeah, on any channel that you watch, the best thing you can do to support them is subscribe. You know, it's not about the ads. Subjective cost of duration between 10 minutes is greater. Loss of context might be reduced. Annoyance constant. Yeah, and it did. People were responding poorly to that, so I thought, okay, all right, you're right. We'll switch it around. And yeah, it's just because on Twitch, like Twitch will still play ads regardless, right? Twitch will still play pre-rolls. It'll still do all these. It'll do a bunch of stuff regardless of what you do as a setting. But if you don't do 3 minutes of ads in some scheduled manner, you basically get no cut from that. You get a much, much reduced anything. So it's like this whole thing. And the 3 minutes of ads per hour disable pre-rolls as well, which I like. Because what I don't like, for me personally, I click on a channel because I'm curious. Oh, what's going on this channel? I click on it and immediately get ads. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to click away and check some other channel. I think pre-rolls are very problematic for trying to, like, get new people, get new viewers, right? So you're hoping someone clicks on your channel at random from time to time. Like, oh, what's this person all about? And then is like, you know, immediately drawn into, wow, look at this fantastic content of Quill holding down the left mouse button, and really not doing much, but mine were reeling in that fish, and it's super exciting, right? So that's my hope. So it's like, all right, I consider pre-rolls to be the devil. And then if you do the thing that Twitch wants you to do, which is 3 minutes per hour, then you get no pre-rolls the entire time of your stream, which seems pretty strong. And I can't blame Twitch for wanting that. I mean, they've got to keep their servers up, right? Could be a trophy. Could be a... Yeah. I mean, we've already caught one trophy. This might be tougher so far than the first trophy. Now, I know in the patch that dropped yesterday or the day before, they did finally... Because one of the things that people do with, like, sort of fighting in the movement and stuff like that was, I mean, technically benefited, but wasn't actually coded in as, like, a mechanic in the game. And one of the things with yesterday's patch is this sort of, like, pull-up while you're reeling in has been implemented as more of a specific mechanic so that there should be some benefit to it. I think the idea is, like, when the tension's sort of going down, that's when you sort of pull up, because, like, the fish is clearly not fighting so much right then, so maybe you can get a little bit. I think that's how the description was. Okay, clearly the fish is tiring out, though. Now, as I say that, it's swimming away. This will be our, theoretically, this should be our last one, and then we can switch to a higher test line. Not much higher, but just a little bit. Just so we can get one extra tick of drag on this reel. Or we just switch the reels completely. There we go. Come to Quilly. Come on. Oh, you son of a... It's right here. Like, you can see it through the water. Now, like, in shallow enough water, you can even see the fish that are coming to your hook even before you've got them hooked. Gotcha. Another trophy cutthroat. Nice. Okay. That completes Rocky Careful Angler as well. So we got a bait coin. Got a... Actually, this is Barbless Master. Catch a certain fish using that. This is the Rocky Careful Angler. There you go. Nicely done. Wonderful feeling. Let a fish out into the water. Only enjoy the thrill of a good fight next time you catch it. Yeah, this is themed as a release, although we were just been keeping things. And we got ourselves a Barbless Nano Spinner as well. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over, and we're going to ignore the... we're going to ignore the hunt for the golden trout for a little bit. We're going to just track the Rocky Exploration mission. And let's take a look. So, Golden Shiner, first of all. Let's see what the deal would be with you. Only common varieties available here. So there's a unique cutthroat trout available here, too, that we might hunt for. Oddly, we actually haven't caught a common cutthroat. Anyway, the Golden Shiner. Yeah, so pure bait fish, just want some dough balls, basically. So I'm going to switch to this, probably a float. Yeah, I don't think this is a bottom feed or anything like that, so we'll start with the float. Although, what I might want to do is I might want to cast out with my feeder rod just to get a sense of the depth. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to move to another spot, just to see some variety over here. So, I mean, we've got some lily pads over there, but there's also some wood here. I don't suppose there's a trail I can walk along, is there? No, some of these places are, there's a trail this way. I'm not sure I can go further that way. Logs are often good spots to catch things. This is a very small lake. Although right over here, we got some cattails and stuff that can avoid getting hooked on that one piece of wood. That might be the spot to go. So for the sake of argument, what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to necessarily do a fishing round here. I'm just going to drop my bottom rod here because the game will tell us how deep it is. 0.8 meters. Okay, so it's very shallow. And then I'm going to switch over to a float. So 0.8 meters. I want the length of this to be, I don't know, let's say about 50 centimeters. So it's not hanging down at the bottom. And we know we got to put some dough or semolina balls on this. You know, I only have 7 semolina balls. We'll use the dough balls, so let's be fine. Okay. Bitcoin, new cryptocurrency. Exactly. Similar sounding to, but this legally distinct from. Excellent. And here's the thing. I've actually, my current run of Baldur's Gate 3 that I'm doing on my own, my Dark Urge Paladin, I've been doing it while fishing. Because with the floats, you can just drop them in, tab over, take your next couple of unit turns in Baldur's Gate 3 combat, and then you hear the ding, ding, ding of your float getting some bites. Tab back in here, look for the action. Yeah, I've got the bobber. You can choose just visually the cosmetic size of the bobber, and I just went with the biggest, so I'd have the easiest time to keep an eye on it. Yeah, so you can see here, like the tension on the line is basically non-existent. All right, so we've called a couple of different people. Like people pronounce these different ways depending on where you are. I'm gonna say crappie. We got our call for the black crappie. And again, my fishing net is excessively large, so I'm just basically going to keep everything. Unless we somehow catch the golden trout, which I don't think is going to get caught with this setup. A turn-based system in Baldur's Gate for that, being able to just do other things, yeah. Again, when I personally play games, usually I've got, YouTube or something playing on another monitor, some Netflix series. I mean, it's not going to be a new show, because obviously I'm not going to be watching 100%, so it'll be a rewatch of something I've seen before, or more typically, it'll be...
Hey, Quill, pay attention, there's a new
like a reaction channel to a show, or someone just doing a Let's Play of something. Like, I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays of Baldur's Gate 3 while playing Baldur's Gate 3. Bannerlord, thanks for the sub! That little ding is letting us know there's a bit of an action on the float. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get something. I'm using a number 6 hook here. Ooh. Golden Shiner. I'm using a number 6 hook here, which is on the smaller side. I tend to like to start with the smaller hooks. I think number 8 might be the smallest hook that they've got in here. I like to start on the smaller side. Now, you're only going to catch some smaller fish, but then what you can do is you can keep sort of moving up, bumping up from there, and it will start sort of filtering out the smaller fish. But especially with doing these initial little things where I'm not caring about the size of the fish I catch. What do you mean, a bluegill? What's the deal with a bluegill? So very similar. They even go for the dough balls, although they do open up a few other things. You can keep dough ball fishing a little bit more. White bass, white sucker. Bass they tend to go for living bait a little bit more. Right, yeah. So if you're doing bait fishing, they want night crawlers or small minnows, or they can catch them with lures. And then the white sucker here, I was going to say, that's definitely a bottom feeder. Eat mostly small invertebrates, algae, and plant matter. Does it say anything about them being nocturnal or anything like that? Nope. I mean, we'll probably just use the bottom rod to try to go for them. So we'll cast a few more times with the dough balls. Oh, that's okay. We're not in Oregon. I don't need my advanced Oregon license. I like how everyone's making the same joke. The Krug, this is not a. By the way, I'm not critiquing you for that. The BG3 looks different in the new patch. Everyone's making the same joke because it's such a good joke to do. And maybe it's an age thing, but I know I've always loved sort of repeated jokes. Like the second and third time you hear the same joke again, it's less funny. But then there's this point where like it starts to pick up again, and the humor just grows. Mm-hmm. Oh, someone's created a sponsored competition. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. I haven't entered any competitions in this game to start off with. But I don't know, like, so I guess anyone can create their own competition, and what's the value there? Maybe just to, get a bunch of people doing the same thing because that's fun. Mm-hmm. How many planets are you planning to catch? This is fishing planets. That's right. It's not a planet of fishing. It is verbing. We are fishing planets. Dumb jokes are the best jokes, yeah. So nice that so many people join me on my day off where I'm just fiddling around here. Do. Love when you call fish bottom feeders. It feels like you're just being rude to them. I had well, I still have a fish tank. There's no fish in it anymore. And for the longest time, the fish tank that is my fish tank was really Ava's fish tank, and she had just a bunch of little fish in there. But I originally got it because I got an Oscar. So a long time ago, this was 20 years ago, I had a day job where I commuted into work with this lady because we lived in the same neighborhood, and the drive out to work was pretty far. So we started doing commutes. And she had like tons of aquariums. She actually I think she like bred betas and stuff too. Anyway, so she would do all this aquarium talk and things, and sure. And I like listening to anyone who's got something like passionate that's something that they're passionate about. I will listen to whatever they have to say about it. And then one year for my birthday, she got me this little. I can see. There we go. She got me this little 2-gallon fish tank. So I could start doing my own like fish stuff, which is great. So I didn't really know anything. Trophy black crappie, nice. Okay. Still hoping we hit a bluegill here. Now it's possible that the bluegill maybe they don't like these reeds as much. They might prefer one of the rockier areas or the lily pads. So we'll have to move at some point. Of course, there's tons of guides online for all these locations. People have got all this stuff sorted out for you already, but we're gonna keep doing this. So she got me this little 2-gallon tank, and the 2-gallon tank's like, it's not big, right? So I went to the pet store, and I told the person at the pet store that like this is what I have. And then I was looking through all the tanks, and then I found one with this little tiny fish who just like really followed me, really made me feel like it was a little puppy, really excited to see me. And I said, all right, that's the one I want. Keep in mind, this expert at this pet store knew I had a 2-gallon tank. So I bring home an Oscar, and I put it in this tank, and it's great. And then I, open up the internets and enter into the Googles this Oscar fish. And the first thing that comes up is like, first of all, this Oscar is going to grow to about this big. And they are the sort of fish that like eat a lot and poop a lot. And you really want 50 gallons per fish. And you really want 50 gallons per Oscar in your tank. And anything else is just like animal abuse. Oh, there you go. We got ourselves a bluegill. So I was like, great. But I wasn't going to go and return this poor fish. No. Instead, I went back and I bought myself a 50-gallon fish tank, which we still have. Yeah, it's like 180 liters, exactly. Something like that. It's just, those are just the numbers that they use here, so that's just what I remembered, and that was all. I don't use gallon. I can't describe, like, in practical terms, how much a gallon is. Whereas I know very much how much a liter is. Plus, I know that a liter weighs a kilogram, very conveniently. But a gallon, I don't know, other than the fact that this tank that I've got is a 50-gallon tank. So I did that, and I loved my Oscar so much. His name was Otto von Oscar, and I eventually got him a buddy for the tank. This is bringing us back to the bottom feeder discussion. I eventually got him a buddy for the tank, Plecostomus rex. So he was a pleco, Plecostomus, which is a... I got stuck on something. Which is a bottom feeder. It's one of these sucker fish that just like you always see on the glass. And because Oscars are aggressive carnivorous fish. They have teeth. They also really like to jump out of their fish tanks, which was a problem more than once. More than once, I had to pick up my stupid ass fish off the ground and put him back in his tank. I'm completely freaked out. I'm going in there trying to clean the tank. This fucker just jumps out. Like, this is not good for your health. Anyway, but yeah, they are aggressive, like, fish that want to eat other fish. So there's only so many things you can put in a tank with them. But the plecos, you can, mostly because they're bottom feeders, they're out of the way, they're apparently relatively well armored. They don't have big bulgy eyes. You know those fish with the big bulgy eyes? Yeah, a lot of times you end up with, like, the pirate fish. Or the oh, the door just rang. Right, my pizza's here. Hold on, I forgot all about it. Hooray! Did I lose a fish while I was away? I better recast this. Oh, I must have, because that's not where the bobber was when I left. Yes, some plecos will grow very large. Mine never did. My tank never really had much of an algae thing, because that's one of the things the plecos are good at. They keep cleaning your glass and like preventing algae buildup, and it never really developed too much in the tank. I actually think I probably could have had a little bit more of a fish load in my tank, but obviously not a second Oscar. That would have been crazy. I think things like angelfish, once they get to enough of a size, won't be targeted. I think there's a few things like that. Also, when I named my Oscar Otto von Oscar, I didn't realize that Ottos were a type of fish, which often led to some confusion for people as well. Balgar! Kind of pizza did you get? Good pizza, is there pineapple? There is pineapple! Got pineapple and ham and some jalapeno, some jalapenos. And I decided to match it with an adult beverage because it's my day off. I'm not working today. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's have a little bite while it's still nice and hot. Oh, so cheesy and delicious. Mmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's move here. Let's drop in by these lilies. I bet you it's deeper there, too. Can we extend the leader out? Let's go like about 120 centimeters. There you go. If the bobber stays sideways, that means like your leader is too long. But... All right. Slancha. Once again, thank you everyone who contributes to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. Oh. What I should actually do is switch to a bottom setup here for the sucker. Oh, I just got an achievement, Panfish Overlord. It's my 250th panfish. All right, let's take a look at that white sucker. Panfish Domination, Panfish Overlord 3. White sucker. Marshmallows and semolina balls. Bottom feeder. So we'll definitely, we'll go to our bottom rod setup. I don't have a lot of semolina balls, but maybe the shop here provides it. I don't have, and I should really do this. I should really have a rod holder. I wonder if the store here sells them. Usually you don't want to buy on location because the prices are usually more expensive. No, yeah, and there's limited stuff, so there are no rod stands here in the Colorado store, which is too bad. Because really what you want to do, if you want to optimize your fishing, and obviously we're all about optimizing stuff over here, is you can set up your bottom rod and then put on a rod holder, and switch over to your casting rod, you know, do a little bit of lure thing until something catches on the bottom. Now, what is the... So probably anywhere in the darker area here. Sometimes you'll see like a little hole or something. This actually might be a good spot over there, if we could reach it. But those little bits of geography tend to be fairly exciting and interesting to fish. Or maybe even near this, but in the deeper areas. I wonder where that might be. Fortunately, at this point, the only thing we could do is sort of cast and see how deep it gets. Or once you've caught a fish, you can leave markers behind. For now, what I'm going to do, actually, to start, I'm going to drop in there and see what that does for us. So 2 meters deep still, all right, on a rocky bottom. So we're just going to leave this. Can you fish from a dam? I don't know if any of the maps have dams. Actually, small ones, yeah. And bridges and things. I mean, this is a pretty bare bones little fishing spot. You can do a little bit of world tour here. Funny stuff, dam is pond in Danish. Is it really? I don't know if they've got a Danish fishing location in here. I've got a few places. They've got a lot of North American locations, mostly US locations. They've got at least a couple in Canada. But yeah, they've got one in Czech Republic, France. I don't know what all their European locations are. Oh yes, Capsalon. Yes, I know about that. It means hairdresser, but it's like messy fries. It's fries with a bunch of stuff on them. Okay, we'll leave this for another minute. We got the number 4 hook on this too. How do I feel about that? I think that's probably okay. But I'm not convinced this is the sweet spot for the bottom feeders. Although, you know, I'm actually wondering, kind of a waste of money because there's travel costs involved in this game. But I'm actually wondering about going back to home base, picking up a rod holder, and then coming back. So we can drop a bottom rod, but then go back to casting. 5,000 kcals on a plate. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it serves the same purpose as poutine. Right, let's reel this in. Let's instead drop it. I'm like right out in the middle of the lake. I can cast far with this setup. How deep is it over there? 4.7 meters. Let's see how bottom feedery these fish are. Yeah, poutine is delicious. The big thing with it is a bunch of places have sort of cheesy fries. But the thing with poutine is specifically use cheese curds and the right kind of gravy. All right. Even though we're going to lose a little bit of money here, I'm going to go and get a rod holder. So actually, I think paid for 3 days. But I do have a fair amount of money saved up. I'm not too concerned. Yeah, it's got to be fresh curds because they're more melty. So, rod stands. Well, I may as well go with this one. Wet stand. Do it! And what I'm actually wondering about is maybe... where's the rod stand under? Oh, it's already equipped. Is... Maybe I should set up a second bottom rod, but we'll just go with the one. I don't think there's anything else I need to change. Oh, you know what? I was nearly out of Semolina balls. Added to my backpack. Good stuff. All right, let's go back to Rocky Lake. So I've never set up a rod stand, I think. Okay, I think I like the idea of this spot. Rod stands, 9. Okay. Is this invalid location? Oh, it is. Really? Can't set it down on the water over here. Okay, I guess we're going to be passing out from there. Let's see how this works. So it's dropped in. It's in position. There we go. And it's got that little yellow thing, that's a little bell on the end of it. So it'll go ding-a-ling-a-ling when we get something. Shift 2 to take a rod from the stand. Okay. Yeah, and then what we'll do... Now, we haven't had any luck catching any golden carp over here. But we did catch a bunch of other carp. Oh, I gotta check the time of day. I just realized because... Oh. We left and came back. Oh, this is still the one I need to adjust the line on. Crap. Talking about different types of mayonnaise? Ooh, potato pancakes are delicious. Hang on, let's do a little line swap. Because, yeah, the 1.8 kg test is pretty bad. I could replace the spinner as well, although, yeah, you know, I can use my featherlight setup over here. That's what I'll do. Gonna be much better. Oh, shoot. Put that down. Panic. Shift 2. Yes. Crappie. We were catching crappie already. That's not new and exciting. Then we take rod 1 back. Okay. Yeah, cross line. That can't be good. Never cross the streams. And if someone asks you if you're a god, say yes. Man, I gotta rewatch Ghostbusters. I still haven't watched the most recent Ghostbusters. Is it Ghostbusters Afterlife or something like that? Which I hear is pretty good. We gotta remember, if we catch a golden one, we've got to release it. Oh, leveled up to 19! Afterlife is okay. I think it's on Netflix for me. Yeah, I think it is on streaming. Also, though, I'm a little behind. I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet, which I hear is great. Although I think I need to watch Christmas special first, which I also haven't seen. It's all on Disney Plus, which I do have. Oh, why release the golden? Because I have a mission specifically to do a catch and release on a golden carp. Right now, my thing that I'm watching to keep myself busy, like when I was doing all the cleaning and housework earlier, was I was rewatching some old seasons of Taskmaster. Yeah, oh, right. What was our time of day? Oh, I can't open it when either rod is cast. Oh. Hang on, I can check this. Okay, it's fine. It's morning. Not the most intense period right now, but that's okay. When I get fries, what I often do is I will do a mix of ketchup and mayonnaise. Usually I won't blend them. I'll sort of like put a little side by side. But a lot of times my fries will be, I dip a little in mayo, a little bit in ketchup. Oh, I thought I was hooked, but maybe I was just snagged on a piece of wood or something. Yeah, these rocks are definitely getting in the way. Good fishing, though. The trout fishing was pretty good. Even though we were getting, like, all the physics glitches, and it seems to be happening again here. I wonder where else I could go for the golden carp. Now, sometimes the fish will just be less common in the lake. It could be that the golden trout that I'm hoping to get is just fairly uncommon. But I'm really tempted to see if we can make our way up to that little waterfall up there. I doubt it. Given how much everything is kind of cliffy. There we go. Yeah, I think the like multiple rod per person here, I don't think is typical or legal in a lot of places. But here, as long as you've got your license, you can do whatever you want in this game. Let's cast out this way. I know there's no stones or anything. And we'll do some casts through the middle. I mean, we've got some activities of like some active fish just there too. And especially if I'm looking for a different kind of fish, I should definitely be looking for somewhere else. Ooh. Is that a fish or did I get snagged? Oh, no, that's a fish. Alrighty. Whiskey. Yeah, you can tell, like, I think this line, I think my setup that I'm going now is rated for up to 4.5 kg, so we're really not going to have too much trouble reeling in the fish with this setup. The other thing I could do is I could change to a bigger hook. Now, I'll catch fewer fish, because a lot of the smaller ones won't get hooked by that, but it might enable us to catch some bigger ones. Bigger than this 1/0. So yeah, I don't know what the hook size is based on. It's very much like the gauge system, which for a lot of things, like when you're talking about like a 12 gauge shotgun or lots of different measurements, where like this was representing like fractions of an inch. Like a 12 gauge might be like 12/16 of an inch or something like that. I don't know if that's the case for the gun, but like you get this sort of inverse thing where the number gets smaller, but that means bigger. So with these hooks, the smallest size I think in the game here is the number 8. Then it goes 6, 4, 2, 1, and then 1/0, 2/0. So the 1/0 I'm using here is a little bit bigger than just a plain 1, but I could switch it up to a 3 or 4/0 and see if that changes. Okay, we're still actually fighting a fair bit here. Am I on the... Yeah, no, this is a different rod. Holy cow. Maybe I'm wrong about the test strength of this setup. Maybe it's not 4.5. It might be 2.6 kg, this setup. Oh my god! Not only did we catch ourselves a golden Colorado trout, which we've been looking for, we got the unique. Now, the thing is, I kind of want to keep this one, because it's the unique, but I do have specifically a mission to release one. We'll probably find another one, right? I can just keep this one. Get that streamer luck. 2.7. Yeah, with the max drag of 2.9 here. So that was sort of a middle to late cast. Okay, however, bottom rod, wherever you are, there's nothing going on there. Bottom feelers, I guess, not interested in those rocky areas. Maybe there's just not as much to graze over there. So let's put you back out towards the greenery here. Derail Valley? No, I haven't even heard of Derail Valley. Oh, you can just shift and then the number to put it in that slot, so you don't have to go and move manually. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so again, since we don't actually have to worry about cross lines, you know, there, because that's roughly where we caught. Oh, actually, I should put a marker in. You know what? Yeah, let's not catch anything here. I want to put a marker in for the last cast. Derail Valley is more of a post-apocalyptic Eastern European simulator. Ooh, that sounds like fun. If I open and we hit this button. There you go. So that's where I cast to catch the unique Colorado golden trout. Now, that's not where it got hooked. But that was the marker over there. Let's go, because I still need to release a golden trout for the mission. Have you not heard of it? You drive trains, but actually have to move levers and knobs. Easily crash and deal with the consequences. That sounds great! I'm definitely going to be looking at that. Yeah, I am set up to do the feeder here with my bottom rod. It does actually have the little feeder attachment. I could put some bait in it. Right now, I'm just using it like a sinker with no bait. Someone not playing Starfield won't be spoiled. Exactly. That's what I'm here for. Okay, cutthroat. Hey, Supernova! Thanks for the resub. 115th month! Woohoo! Old man Supernova! Old person Supernova. Sorry, I shouldn't assume. I thought fishing was just stick and string. What's the advanced fishing techniques? Like, I love it. I used to, like, so as a kid, I mean, yes, okay, as a kid, I liked fishing. Then as a teenager, I liked fishing sort of independently. It's one of the things me and my brother would do. Because my parents, that might have just been a snag. There's definitely something pulling a little on the line for a sec there. But yeah, we had, growing up, I had really good luck to be able to spend a lot of time on Manitoulin Island. I don't know, that might have just been another snag. We might have something on the line right now. And have access to, like, waterfronts. And also, a boat a lot of time. Now it's just one of these little tin cans with a little tiny outboard motor on it. But you know, that was very nice. A very nice little privilege. And we would love going out fishing, my brother and I. We'd spend a good part of the day just out and doing that. And I mean, we didn't have any kind of sophisticated setups. We literally did not have the ability to cast. All we ever did is do the thing where you sort of just drop a line in the water and then wait for something to happen. But it was a really nice way to spend the day with my brother. Whoa. Okay. So that's me hitting shift 1. That was an interesting animation. But I always loved going into sports stores and looking at all the fishing equipment and things that were possible. Another crappie. What's a guy got to do to get a sucker going on here? I wonder if I should go over there. I don't know. Let's drop in front of this. I hit here shift 1. Oh, it is swapping the two. Okay, that's quite cool. I really should stay by the... Oh, you know what I should do? Just for... Oh, never mind. We're going to catch this fish. Just for the stream, as I should use twitching for our catch technique. Ooh, it's another... This is another solid fish here. Dedicated fishing equipment store in town where I live. Nice. I actually went to visit my parents a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, went down, we were spending time down by the beach. And, you know, we've got a little shed down there. There's a tiny little beer fridge in there. And it was like, okay, get up. I'm going to just go and get myself a drink. And then, oh my God, I can't. They're both going. No. Okay, I'm going to have to prioritize the one I've got on the lure right now, because it could be our golden trout that I need for the mission. That's annoying. Anyway, so I opened the little beer fridge to get myself a drink. And, like, right there, front and center, is a little styrofoam container full of worms. And then on the shelf below it, a bag full of minnows. Like, live minnows in a bag. Because that's what it's like. Damn. Yeah, strike timed out. Ah! Because I still need the frickin', that's probably our white sucker or whatever there. Dang it. Okay, I don't know what we got hooked here, but it is quite intense. Pull. I don't know, this might be another trophy. I'm just hoping it's a golden trout. Oh, it's in the glitched physics area, which might be very helpful if the Kraken throws it onto the beach for us. Oh, which I think might have just, I don't know. It definitely teleported. It's a boot. Come on. And yeah, we'll have to reset our feeder rod in a second here, because I'm sure the bait's gone on it. Stop going through the rocks. I mean, in reality, that'd be a great way to cut your line. And in this virtual world, it's a great way to get a physics glitch. Come on. 15 meters. It's tiring. I find sometimes, like, kind of giving it a little slack makes the fish, like, stop fighting for a sec. And then sometimes you can get more of a pull in having done so. Starfield, BJ3, yeah, no. Abandon AAA titles. Embrace fishing. God dang! When do we get a fishing rod of +1? That's what we need. +1 Vorpal fishing rod. Just keep getting all these headless fish. Like, what the hell is going on? There you go. There we go. It's another trophy. Trophy rainbow trout. 1.7 kg. Nice, because I think when we looked, the maximum that you could get here was a 2 kg, so that's pretty close to the peak. All right, let's recover this. Put it back down in front here, because that's where we were at last time, and we got a strike. All right. All right. Still looking. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I shouldn't complain that we're catching fish. Golden Shiner. Not what I'm looking for. But it's still good. Too much fishing in this fishing game, right? Like, people complain like there's too much like planetary exploration that goes on in oh look, I'm doing the twitching retrieve. In No Man's Sky. It's like multiplexing in Eve, just keep adding clients. Exactly. Alright, let's make the effort to visually look like we're not crossing our lines. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is not a monster though. Whoa! I've been attacked by a fish! I'm gonna cast out slightly to the right of our marker here because there is some fish action in the way. Yeah. Young Cutthroat sounds like a great rap name. Just keep getting these crappies. I think the white sucker, there's something else that they cared about, but it was just dough balls and semolina balls. Possible. We'll double check, because we can cycle the bait. Actually, what I'm thinking is, what if the white suckers are larger? Maybe I should switch to a bigger hook and filter out the crappies. And especially, like, if we're fishing on a couple of lines, we actually might want to just filter out the smaller fish from this regardless. Which I think is what's going to happen here. A trophy bluegill? Nice! Because the other thing is, we got this mission, but ultimately, I'm going to want to catch every fish species and every subvariant as well. We still need a common cutthroat trout, a white bass of any kind, a white sucker of any kind. The white bass can go for the narrow spoons as well, but when not frightened, they will bite readily at live baits such as worms and minnows. Right, okay, so my feeder setup, let me just bring the hook up. So that's a number 4. Let's go up to a number 1. Quite a bit bigger of a hook. Maybe filtering out some of the smaller fish. It might not help us get the white sucker. So yeah, this is a nice weedy bottom. Oh no, there's some rocks there too. Well, we'll see. Fish them on, exactly. Gotta catch them all. We don't make them fight though. We just put them in a pan with some butter, salt and pepper. Delicious. There we go. That's not a fish. I mean, I'm no expert. All right, let's see what our number 1 gets here. And you can catch bigger fish on the smaller hooks, and sometimes you'll still get smaller fish on the bigger hooks. But it does act as kind of a filtering. Let me go over here. I'm hoping this is going to keep it on a weedy bottom as opposed to a rocky bottom. Weedy. And then it changes. Maybe it doesn't tell us what the type of the bottom is until... Oops. I'm leery about casting there because I'm worried that we're going to go through the weeds on the way back. There you go. Aim somewhere that way. You want to catch a fish? All you got to do is cast out a line. And your bottom line's going to go. Yeah, I think you only clip on the bell after you do the cast out, right? Hey, new personal record for the Golden Shiner. That's nice. Okay, I'm thinking of moving. Reel this in. Just to see if we can put out our feeder line somewhere else for the white sucker. Nope, that was a misclick. In the boat, you have to fight to avoid rocking the boat. Oh, hold on. Unless I just got a weed there. Nope. As I say, it's not very active, but then all of a sudden it is. All right. So, hold right click. So let's see. Is there a trail here we can walk? I think the answer is no. Yeah, I think there just aren't a lot of places at this particular lake. I'm not going to fish from here. And yeah, this is just the other fishing spot, and then it's the dead end. Okay, no, so there's just really not a lot of options at this lake. You know, I'll just go and dump it out here. Or I send it way over that way. Oh, let's leave it here. So it's not near any plant life, but it might have, there might just be some different fish hanging around over there. There's certainly some action there. Again, since we don't actually have to worry about cross lines, I'm actually wondering about putting the bottom setup way over here by the river mouth. Oh, it's shallow right there. The lure definitely didn't go very deep. Yeah. Oh. Both at the same time. Again. When it rains, it pours. I'm just gonna pull in the lured fish. Dang. I know we don't have an active quest marker for it, but we're still looking for, well, effectively a second golden trout. Because the first one we kept because it was trophy, but we still have to release one. I'm somewhat surprised we didn't catch a white bass. So, I mean, unless this is one here. Because they can go for the narrow spoons. Although maybe I'd want to switch to a barbed narrow spoon for that one. Fish are trying to outflank you. Yeah, they're going for an attack of opportunity. All right, come on. Can't tell what it is from just looks. Definitely seems like a trout, though. Not one of the bass. Growing up, mostly what we caught was bass and perch. Mostly bass. I caught a couple of pickerel. Some kind of whitefish once. But mostly it was all about that bass. Funny, this is just like Diablo 4 loot chasing in a more real-life way, right? Exactly. Fishing is just loot boxes for outdoors. Trophy cutthroat trout. Okay, we have not been unlucky when it comes to the trophies. Okay, and I can just, it looks like I can just hit the rod number, in this case 4. All right, we're going to have to pull you in because we're going to have to rebait you. But clearly there's something, some sort of bottom feeder lingering around there. You go right away? No? You're just going to wait till I cast again, aren't you? Jerk. Oh. Wow. Yeah, that river mouth over there is very active. Yeah, it doesn't care about line crossing in this. No collisions for that. Because yeah, that is like the biggest problem, the biggest no-no in fishing, right? It's like, but also I think if they did it, because it's got multiplayer, right? I could be in a room with more players here, and I mean at some point you got to decide, like, do all the lines cross? None of them. Okay, do only your own lines cross? But that's sort of visually inconsistent. And I'm personally happy they went with no line crossing whatsoever. I'm happy the bottom line hasn't started twinkling because it would be annoying me again that we'd missed another bottom feeder. Yeah, I still like the private line. It depends. Sometimes I go into public rooms because what'll happen is you get a little notes in the chat log of everything people catch. And so if it's something you're looking for, you can be like, hold on, and check to see where they're fishing. Or you can just talk to people. Because a lot of this, like these lakes and things you go to, they've got sweet spots for all kinds of different fish. You know, just higher spawn rates and different things like that, right? Which is reasonable because that's kind of how fish work in real life too. Oh my god, I think my game just hung. Are you kidding me right now? Oh, nope, there we go. Ooh, that was weird. I've never seen that happen. And so yeah, you can talk to them. See what the recommendations are. Be like, oh, come over here, use the bread with honey, and a 50 centimeter liter. Although you might have to convert between inches and centimeters depending on who you're talking to. It's secretly mining Baitcoin, yes. Come here. Come here. Get. There you go. Another trophy. Trophy rainbow trout. There's an ad break. That means pizza break for me. Whoops. Zoomer fish giving away trophies for everything. Oh. I'm wondering about casting out to the far side over there. Because we're seeing some fish jumping in that area too. What I might do is do a quick Google to see where, what people talk about for the white suckers, their sweet spot. All right, this is definitely another big fighter here. And we're not overkilling our gear. Well, on the bottom rod we are. Clearly, because we're having zero problems pulling those in. Although, a lot of times those panfish, the bait fish, don't have anywhere near the same sort of fight as these predators. Time to head home. Yay, commutes. That is the one thing I miss probably the least of having my day job. The fact that my commute just involves walking down my stairs to the basement. Very much one of the best parts of my job. I've never lived in a big city, so I never had, like, horribly tragic commutes. But my last 2 day jobs were kind of somewhat out of town, and so it was about a 30-minute drive each way. Sometimes it was 20 minutes. Sometimes it was an hour if there was, like, a bunch of random traffic, usually from construction or something. So it was never a short commute, although it was never, like, one of these incredibly long commutes either. Like, I know people, especially people who live in big metropolitan areas, or work in big metropolitan areas, but maybe live out in the suburbs, who are like, yeah, I have a good day if my, like, drive home is just 2 hours. Because sometimes it's like, well, I take a subway out to the train station, take that out to a place where I've parked my car, the park and go, and then I drive home. Get in here. In your town of 1,400 people, there's a train station. I mean, we have train stations here, but it's all basically cargo in my town. Passenger rail in North America in general is pretty bad. and out where I am, it's especially poor. Technically, there is some passenger stuff, but very few routes and not very convenient. And just contributes to the whole, everyone's got a car all the time. A unique cutthroat trout. Do you know how the best way to catch a unique cutthroat trout? Unique up on it! Ooh, catch all fish species of unique form in Rocky Lake. Nice! Okay, I want to Google. Rocky Lake white sucker. Where is? People are suggesting leeches and worms, which is interesting. For bait, marshmallows and semolina balls is what's indicated over here, although that's not always the case. Some people are using floats for it. Looks like deep floats, but I gotta think that the bottom stuff is good. Found a white seeker near the Weed Island. So yeah, someone reported catching one right over there, which is where we were fishing before. I think we might go in and cast a line out that way again. Now, it's possible that the number 1 hook is no good for this. But we were using a... Did we start on number 6? I think we started on number 6. We weren't catching anything there. Switch back to the number 1, see what happens. But yeah, let's drop off by the Weed Island. Most humans can be lured with marshmallows. That's true, too. Actually, maybe I should switch to marshmallows. I'll try to remember after this cast. We might switch to from the semolina balls to marshmallows. Don't let aliens read this chat. There's still some active stuff. There's some splashing going on over there. So this is clearly still a good spot for us to be casting out to. One thing I love is those videos of kids giving the marshmallow test, right? They put them in a room, you put a marshmallow on a plate in front of them, and you tell them, if you can go 5 minutes without eating this marshmallow, I'll give you a second marshmallow. And then you just see them suffer. Maybe, all right, maybe I'm a bit of a sociopath. I don't know. Boy, I enjoy watching kids suffer. That's not what I mean, but it's really funny to see them sort of squirming and not being sure, or some of them will pick the marshmallow but then claim that they haven't had any. It's just a fun little human psychology thing. Delayed gratification. Apparently it's actually a fairly good indicator of future success. I kept getting a little bit of a pull on the line. I don't know if it was a fish. It could be because we're going barbless. It could be some fish that were actually on, but then fell off immediately. Or it could have just been us hitting some underwater debris. Which is fixed. Somewhere under the water. There used to be, apparently there used to be a trick in some places. I was going to say, oh, there's someone else fishing here. I forgot that was my line. There used to be some sort of hack or something that you could actually go underwater. It was very convenient because you could see where all the debris was. Mine is still a Baldur's Gate 3 stream, just Del fishing on his day off, yeah. Although he'd be doing it in bear form. Right? Doing the thing by the rapids, just knocking the fish out of the water. He's like, anything else isn't fair to the fish. Oh yeah, the thing with the kids that opt to the taller glass rather than a short wide glass. They both have the same volume. And you can prove to them, you can have 2 glasses that are identical. And then take one glass from, this short wide glass and then pour it into a thinner, taller glass. And then put it back in front of the kid who's witnessed the whole thing, and then ask them which glass has more water. This one, that one, or are they both the same? But then they'll point to the tall glass and say that one has more water. Even though no, you dumbass child. Obviously, they have exactly the same amount of water in them. You saw me pour the water from one to the other. But it tells you so much about humans and perception. Okay, we've only caught 2 Colorado golden trout. Both of them have been trophies. We've kept one. I'm going to release this one just to complete our quest. There we go. Oh, was the first one unique? Was it? Maybe. Aquatic biologist at Rocky Lake. Catch all species of trophy form in Rocky Lake. Done. Rocky Trial. Oh, I guess you're right. The other one must have been unique. Because this was... I just got the achievement for catching every trophy version. Yeah, unique and trophy. We haven't caught a common one. To, you know, just complete the catch every variant, but that's okay. All right, white bass. Found in shallow rivers, creeks, and streams. I'm wondering about targeting that spot. Let's switch to a jig head with a shad on it. Since the bass can go for it, and I'm also hoping it might filter out the trouts and leave more opportunity for the bass. Still going for the stop and go. Although I can't help but think that this is actually quite a good lure for the lift and drop. Oh, oh, that's something right away. It's definitely not snagged because it's moving around. Unless weeds can all of a sudden really book it. Kids don't develop process time passing properly until they're 7, 8 years old, which explains they, oh, we're there yet. They have no idea, yeah. What the hell? Yeah, and I do tend to think of bass as fairly good fighting fish. Fighting above their weight. But this could just be another trout. Weed with an outboard. Come here, fishy. Come here. He's nowhere near the same level of fighting. Or, originally he was, but he lost a lot of stamina quite quickly. Oh, it's another trout. So in theory, we're currently actively fishing for both fish of this rocky exploration right now. The white bass and white sucker. Where are all the white fish at? All right, that's a reference to Blazing Saddles. Come on. Oh! There's tension, but... unless we're hitting part of that log that's sort of sticking out. Spent an hour trying to solve stutter in my game. Turned out it was cat hair blocked my mouse sensor. I've been there. And also, yes, Viplets remembering the old school cleaning the gunk out of your mouse. I remember that because, like, if it had been long enough, you'd actually get this, like, strip of, like, felt from, like, compressed dust around the rollers in your mice. It's like if you forget to clean the lint trap out of your dryer for a couple of cycles, and you get to pull, like, that lint felt thing out. All right, let's go. Let's cast directly across here. Their little jig head. Yeah, I love fishing games too. Yeah, and it all goes back to, in my childhood, I played a fishing game, which I believe is called Bass Duel. On DOS 30 years ago, came out in 1993. And really was kind of blown away by it. And I've always had a love for fishing games ever since then. And on my Steam account, I've got like 7 or 8 of them. But in practice, Fishing Planet's the only one I play. I think it's got what feels like a high degree of realism, considering I don't really know. Okay, our little feeder hook hasn't done anything here. We're gonna move it. Trophy Colorado Golden Trout. Anyone remember Sim Golf? Sim Golf was a fantastic game. Fun little like building. You know, like if you like building games like your Sim City or any of those things, you know, you get to build a golf course. It had a little bit of a business management aspect. And then you could also play on your own golf course, which I think is what made it like that extra level of cool. It was sort of like one of the things that's quite cool for there was Sim Car and Sim Copter, Sim Race. There was Sim Copter and there was a car one as well. And you could fly around or drive around cities that you actually made in like SimCity 2000 or 3000 or I don't remember what version of SimCity it was, but you can make a city. And what's with this botched cast? This probably has a little to do with like the weight of my thing or something. There we go. SimCity 2000 had that. Yeah. And it was fun. It adds an extra little degree of meaningfulness to what you're doing, because you're not just like, you know, pushing some numbers around to optimize things, especially if you're a player like me, right? Like, yeah, I like to think that I, you know, play my city builders for like, you know, making beautiful and interesting cities. And occasionally they do come out that way. But a lot of what I'm thinking about is like the numbers behind the simulation, right? And how to optimize around that. But then when you're given the opportunity to actually navigate your city like that, and I'm not talking about, I think in SimCity 4, you had the ability to like drive that like limo in that top-down view, but that's not what I mean. I'm talking like there was an actual like car racing sim. Trophy Black Crappie. Okay. I mean, it's not like we're not getting things. It's just not the things we're looking for. Streets of SimCity. Thank you. That's what it was called. I always forget because it doesn't follow the same pattern as other things. But yeah, it was a 3D game. I mean, this was very early 3D. It had a polygon in it. But yeah. I like Simcopter the most. Because I've always loved flight simulator games. I still love flight simulator games. It's been a while since I played Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I miss it. When did the next Let 'em Dare? Good question. I wanted to do the last one, but then it turned out there was a conflict. We still did a programming stream, I think, the week before or the week after. I've not played Rushing Fishing 4. I've heard excellent things about it. Damn, man. We just keep winning. But at the wrong fish. September 29th to October 2nd. There might be a conflict with a sponsored stream. Which room do you have in store? I have a huge storage thing. The Fish Cab M Plus. It can hold 70 kilos. With a max individual fish weight of 30 kilos. Which is like over. I think it came with one of the DLC packs you could get, which I believe I got when I did a sponsored gig. So ages ago. I feel like it was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Because this game has been out for a while. But I did a sponsored video for it, and I think they gave me a DLC code that gave me this insane fish cabin. They probably gave me some other stuff, like a random outfit or a kayak, or I don't know what. It might have been the kayak, because I seem to remember specifically they wanted to showcase being out on the boat on the water. So I think it might have been a DLC pack that came with a kayak, but then it came with this huge fish keeper, which is just like easy mode. Because at this point, I mean, we've got 15 kg worth of fish already. Most fish keepers you'd have as a level 18 character like I am here would be past full. Did you try the CK3 fishing mod? No. What? Speaking of CK3, I gotta play it. They came out with a patch called the Quill patch. Like, I gotta play that, right? Okay. Where are we finding these white suckers? How to catch a white sucker in Colorado guide. Oh, I don't want a YouTube video. Who watches YouTube videos? I mean, seriously. Just give me a screenshot with a circle. Then we need a 17-minute intro. All right. Peas on a hook 1. I don't think I have access to peas. He's just putting out a floater. The problem is all these videos where they show float fishing, they also don't tell you the depth that they're setting it to. Although presumably it'd be pretty long, since the suckers are kind of bottom feeders. Wow, this video has like 3 pixels in it. It makes it very helpful to see where the heck they are. I think they're fishing from here, and they're just putting out a floater, not even very far out. I really thought the bottom feeder would be the way to go. Well, I guess I can just put out another line. Whatever, the bait screen is not alphabetical, which drives me crazy. Change the time of day as well. Oh, we can switch to marshmallows, because we've been using semolina balls, so we're going to use the floater here. Let's throw some marshmallows on there. See how that goes. And yeah, we'll just spread out some more over there, cross the lines, because it's fine. It's not touching bottom. All right. What's great about this is it makes it easier for me to keep an eye on Twitch chat. How's the fishing like? It's been crazy good for some things, Malkuth. And thank you very much for the resub. We've been catching trophy and unique trout like crazy. The problem is I got this mission to catch a white bass and a white sucker, and we haven't been getting any of those. We got a couple of static lines in there for the white sucker. In theory, the white bass should be catchable with its jig head and this Chad. We need memes. The Chad meme. Streets of SimCity had multiplayer. Did it? Was it? I bet you it was on modems though, right? I remember my first multiplayer experience. It was late at night because we had to make sure that no one was picking up the phone. But a friend of mine on our modem playing. It must have been. I was going to say Quake, but no, it was Doom. Because the maps were, yeah, it was still in the sort of like the 2D map effectively. Doom maps, they had sort of like elevation that you could see, but effectively the way the map was programmed was actually just pure 2D. But yeah, I think it was Doom 1 on modem late at night, so none of our parents would pick up the phone and ruin things. Yeah, I could switch this, drop the stop and go. Now, I can't really do the lift and drop, although I think part of it has to do with like the type of lure you use. It's easier and harder. The other thing we could do is we could do a slow and straight retrieve. Now, usually that's not as good of an action, but let's give it a go. So let's see if we can get some slow straight. There we go, straight slow. Okay. Well, we gotta grab on a. I was just trying. I'm not sure we can do a proper straight slow with this reel because the ratios might be off. We could just do a straight retrieve. Command & Conquer, first one I remember playing multiplayer. Did I ever play Command & Conquer multiplayer? I'm not sure I did. Now, years later, I did play a bunch of StarCraft multiplayer. I still enjoy StarCraft. A lot. Just a straight 2. Sort of medium depth here. I just realized our bobber... We might have to keep vision of our bobber. Because we don't have a bell on there. StarCraft a lot of fun. You're just bad at it. I mean, I'm not great at it. The last time I did do some 1v1 StarCraft laddering, I did get into Diamond League, and that was nice to like be like, I still got it. Just a few months ago. Maybe more along the coast, the shore here. It could be that we've already had a hit and a loss on the bobber, although I think we get a pop-up when you miss out the ability to do a strike, so I think there's nothing's come up on our bobber. I think we'll just move it somewhere else. I might mess with the depth again. I would really like to have a buddy for StarCraft 2 co-op mode. I really like co-op. I have by far more hours in StarCraft 2 co-op mode than anything else in StarCraft 2. I really enjoy it. But none of my friends are into StarCraft. Ooh. I think I'm going to move our little float. I think I'll move both, actually. Could be that I've gone too big on the hooks. Yeah, it's a really good thing these lines can't get tangled. Or this would be a horrible mess right now. We'll probably wrap up the stream soonish. We're of course going to be doing our 4-hour Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. So I got to make sure my voice isn't too bad a shape, especially since this was supposed to be my day off. Of course, there will be Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. That's still the plan. At some point, we might do a certain sci-fi RPG, but I don't think until after we're done BG3. Come on. Get over here. Get over here. Can't wait to go back and watch your BG run. I've been avoiding everyone playing, so no spoilers. Yeah. Haven't started BG3 yet. Maybe tomorrow. And yeah, it is a solid game. It's pretty good for like. I mean, Larian is effectively just an independent company. I mean, obviously this still comes out to a AAA title, but maybe the fact that they weren't really, they're not owned by Activision or EA or things like that means they don't have the same sort of like type of shareholder pressure to release at a certain time and date. I'm going to go extend the leader. We go maximum here. I think it feels like a fairly deep lake. Yeah, look at that. That's still dangling there. So yeah, one person implied that their bottom setup near the little weed island was one place for the white sucker. And someone else online was got their little floater set up kind of out here. So hopefully, oops, between these two, something will work. I don't think I can add a bell to the floater setup. Maybe I can. Do I have one with me? No. No, my extra bells I think are at home. Now they're still in the UI. Under audio, float fishing bite sound. You will get a ding when your float gets a bite. Yeah, I may have to adjust the hook sizes. I might have to go to a smaller hook on those, which, I mean, we'll be catching tons more fish with them. Which may or may not be the thing we want, because, you know, they might all be the wrong fish, but... Yeah, I don't know. You forget easily, so spoilers don't work on you? Well, the other thing, like, replaying Baldur's Gate 3, you know, like, starting a new character, has made me realize, like, there's so many different ways that you can go through these events that you can anti-spoil yourself by virtue of just making some different decisions. And seeing quite a different game. That's another crappie. I mean, great, but not what I'm looking for. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up the stream. I'm going to see you tomorrow, noon Eastern time. Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to have another slice of pizza. And then, yeah, Essentia's probably going to be home soon. I'll help her bring in some groceries and work on dinner. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.